boat up. You remember they crawled the water way down. They'd come off so dry, them stumps up Dead Creek was 3 foot out of the water. Cap a snow top each one, and I was glad of that. Wall, I must have gone in a fur piece, 'cause next thing I knowed, it come dark. So I climbed back where I left the boat, but there wasn't no sign of it. I hunted for that cussed boat half hour, but 'twasn't for no use. Never did find what ailed it. But next day I seen it floating down the floodwood. They was devilment loose. And if I didn't leave my coat in that boat, well, there wasn't no getting home. Less'n I grew wings and flew. Trouble was, the old in the shack close by was Marcy Cobble's, and that halfway around the Hawk's Nest, a couple mile. It was sleeping in the snow trying to keep a fire going. Else walk them 2 miles through water logs and stumps. The dark let down on the ground woods black as a pocket. I calculated I better leg it around to Mossy's. So I followed the old creek bed, but couldn't see half a rod ahead of me. If it wasn't for hunting, snow laying long in the draw showed up in the roots and sogs, I'd had a deuce of a time. Then a root grabbed hold of my boots, and I seen something white scooting out of the water, about a rod ahead, scooting the water. First I thought it was snow, didn't pay no mind, but then something brushed my face, something wet and quick like. First I say maybe it's one of them white bats I heard tell of. Then I says no, it's too cold for them bats. I went on a piece and was holding to a stump, trying to get over a big pine log. Something pushed me, and a 7-foot scree whoosh up out of the stump. I was up next to him, poked my fist clean through his white belly, and when I drawed it out, there was a big hole. I swan to goodness, that scree did cuss worse than to deep me from getting to Mosses. He'd get down them holler stumps where the hi-ho's nest, and when I come to it, up he whooshed out of there like a skyrocket, rizzed every hair of my head. Next I seen him grinning white skull poke out a rotten something right in front of my nose, and come the 3rd time he done it, that's when I knowed who it was. The one knifed the squaw back in the old days. Remember? We found him, stuck in the mud, up to his neck, his eyes wide open. I tell you, the cold sweat and goose flesh come out. I was maybe halfway to Mosses, and I was get there and freeze, 'cause I was too tired to stay awake and keep a fire going. That killer scree took to lying ahead of a big log I had to climb over, and just as I get to it, he reached out them long hands to try to grab me. Of course he didn't have strength, 'cause he wasn't made out of nothing but frog spit. But just okay, sorry. But just to see him whooshing out made you pretty nigh lose your balance all yourself. A couple times he pushed me flat over, then he knocked my hat off and run them frog hands back my ears. Got so I was scared of every piece of floodwood I come to. I thought the snow under my feet jump up and grab me. My hat was gone. I was covered with that stinking bottom mud, and him grabbing my boots. Must have cracked my shins 11 times on them scree logs. 11 times, yeah. Sorry. I bet half the snags of the whole drowned land was blowed up into Hawk's Nest that night. Wall come to the last bend, there was Moss's Rock. It's just a few rods from Moss's Landing. I says to myself, I knew that bottom. I run the nest. But 'twa'n't long before that screeching screech through a stump, and it blamed near cracked my head open. My tongue was hanging out about a foot coming up the path. The moon was hanging in them trees bright yeller. I made straight for Moss's door, panting like wampus, and there, leaning again with his arms stretched out, was that 17-foot grinning scree. By gall, 2 miles frightened the floodwood, and gonna freeze to death in front of Moss's door. Else let that scree inside to try to sleep with the whoosing around. I pulled at him, but there ain't nothing to get a hold of. This man made out of frog spit. Then I seen something. You know Marcy Cobble? he ain't never been right in the head. And when he built that shack, he screwed the door hinges to outside. Yeah, so the door opens ways instead of in ways. Well, I poked through that mess, and Frog spit and pulled the door open. And before he can turn around, I'm inside the door shut. By dog, he put up a howl, his fingers coming through the cracks. I had to wire that door to keep him out. I tell you, if that door wasn't hinged the wrong end to, I wouldn't be here doing no talking about it. The end.